Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing tonight? You all right? Everybody doing well? I hope you are. We have lots of chairs to fill, and I hope you'll be patient with us while we fill them. How many of you, this is the first time you've ever seen Sean? Oh, wow. All right. And how many of you, you're here in spite of that? All right. Good. Good. Well, I am very happy that you are here, and I want to welcome you to the Song Black Box Theater. We're located in the heart of Shelby County, right here in Columbiana, Alabama. Can we hear it for Columbiana, Alabama? All right. All right. Now, this afternoon, I just want you all to be aware of something. We're going to go live in just a few moments. And before we go live, you need to know what we're going live for. These shows, all these shows, with Song of the South series are being professionally produced for broadcast on Alabama Public Television beginning later this year. Can we hear from Alabama Public Television? Yes, Alabama Public Television. So all of you tonight are going to be a part of that production. So the question is, are you ready? The question is, oh wait, we're about to go live. We're about to go live. We're about to go live. Are you ready? All right, let me hear you. Everybody, let's bring them out. Sean of the South in 3, 2, 1. We're live. We're live. We're going live. Something's wrong.
Want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and we're going to play a song for you here that is the first song that I ever learned. It was taught to me by my uncle. Now, my uncle was a big man. He was about 350 pounds. He was about 4'9". He had a very, very happy disposition. He wore overalls every day of his life, and sometimes he might or might not have buttoned up the air conditioning buttons. I'll never forget when he got me my first guitar. He got me that guitar because I had been watching him pick on the back of his porch, and his porch was an old 1965 Dodge Champion RV painted crimson and purple because them were the colors that were on sale at the Sherman-Williams. And he was picking for the cow that was along the side of our lot, which is where he parked his RV. And her name was Barbara. And Barbara would kind of get up to him when he was picking, and she'd look at him, and he'd keep picking. And my Uncle John kept a big old cooler next to him always whenever he was picking. A cooler full of Ovaltine. He reached into that ice cold cooler, and he cracked open one of them Keystones, and he got a big old white enamel bowl, and he got that little white enamel bowl, and he handed it to Barbara, the cow. And my mom said, "John, you can't feed a cow beer." He'd say, "Hold on now. It takes a lot of booze to get a girl that size drunk." I'd listen to him talk. I loved to hear him talk. He'd tell old man stories with all his friends, and they'd all sit out there and they'd do they'd have these tales, these tale-telling things. They'd all just tell stories, and that's just what men used to do. They used to do two things out there on the porch. They'd get around in the yard, and they'd root around, and they'd find a stick. And they'd get a stick, and they'd pull out of their pocket a butter yellow case knife with dual blades. It had been sharpened so many times that the blades were no longer concave. They were convex. I might have gotten that wrong. But I didn't do very good in math, and neither did Uncle John. And they'd say, "You know, things have changed today. I don't know what's going on in America. Everybody's just so different." Yeah, I know it. You know, when we was young, everybody was just so different. Everybody talked different. They acted different. They watched different things on TV, too. I know it. You know, they got a channel out there now called Emma TV. What you reckon that stands for? Well, I know what it stands for. It stands for Mercy, that chick ain't got no britches on. And he'd say, "You know, when I was a child, we were so good all the way up from Sunday school all the way up until we got married. You know that before I was married, I never even kissed my wife. What about you?" Well, I don't know. What was your wife's maiden name? And I'd listen to them pick, and I learned how to pick a song that my uncle taught me, and this was the song that he taught me. A little bit of Faded Love. How about a little intro here? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. As I look at the letters that you sent to me, and it's you that I am thinking of. As I read the lines that to me were so sweet, I remember I fell in love. Well, I miss you, darling, more and more every day. As heaven would miss the stars above. With every heartbeat I still think of you, and I remember I fell in love. As I think of the time that I spent with you, I remember the mating of the dove. It was in the springtime that you came to me, and I remember I fell in love. Well, I miss you, darling, more and more every day. As heaven would miss the stars above. With every heartbeat I still think of you, and I remember I fell in love. Take it home, boys. How about these guys, huh? Whiskey before breakfast. Listen to these guys play. You don't ever get to play with 4 fiddles. It's really, why would you want to, Matt said to me, but the truth is I do want to. They produce a wall of sound that just envelopes you, depending on what part of Alabama you're from. These guys are real good, and I'd like to introduce Aaron, formerly Dijonette Debussy.
Debussy.
Okay.
Debussy was a classical composer.
Debussy. Yeah.
Okay. How do you say it?
Debussy.
Debussy. Ah, yeah, I'm getting there. That's a word I know. Well, we're going to introduce her. This is a song that is it what you said you started when you were.
I started when I was 4 years old, and my grandpa was a fiddler from Kentucky.
Yeah.
And he did what every good grandpa does, which was bribe his grandchildren. And he would say, "You learn a fiddle tune, we'll go get ice cream."
And what was one of the first fiddle tunes you learned to play?
Turkey in the Straw.
Turkey in the Straw. Bobby knows a little something about Turkey in the Straw, don't you?
Yes, I do indeed.
Tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
Turkey in the Straw actually came from an English tune from the 1600s, and it was called the Rose Tree. And it came over here, and the rose tree was about love and bushes and shrubbery and beautiful flowers and stuff like that. But it came over here, and it became about farm animals and such out on the prairie. And this is we know as Turkey in the Straw this day.
Turkey in the Straw, everybody. Come on, Aaron. You know, they say that the only way to get two fiddle players to play in tune is to shoot one of the fiddle players. But we've got four playing in tune here tonight. What do you think about that? I got Mr. Dwayne, too, coming up here to play a special song for you solo, because he's playing a unique style of music. This is called finger picking, not to be confused with nose picking. They are somewhat related. Were you a picker in grade school? The question is, were you a ingester or were you a wiper? Because some people would wipe them on the bottom of the school desks and other people would digest them. What about you, Dwayne?
Well, I don't know about me, but I know what my kids are.
Yeah. What are they?
Well, I better not say. I've got some friends here.
What are you going to play?
They might tell my wife.
What are you going to play for us?
This is a fingerstyle piece. I love fingerstyle guitar. And when I first started learning to play, I always loved listening to Chet Atkins. And this is not a Chet Atkins song, but he did it, and Tommy Emmanuel covered this thing. But Merle Travis is who inspired Chet to play. And a guy named Mose Rager in Kentucky is the one that's inspired Merle to play. What's interesting about this style, Merle Travis played everything with just two fingers.
Wow.
These three fingers just sit still. So he did everything with his index and his thumb. And then Chet Atkins, when he took it to a whole nother level. So anyway, I'm going to attempt to do the Cannonball Rag.
Cannonball Rag. When Dwayne was a little boy, he told his mother, he said, "Mama, when I grow up, I want to be a guitar player." And she said, "Son, you can't do both." Cannonball Rag. Dwayne, too, everybody. That's not fair. Coming up here to the microphone is my good friend Bobby Horton, and we're going to be playing an old-time spiritual song. Now, I come from very spiritual people. I come from fundamentalist people. Very, very fundamentalist people. In fact, we all needed Metamucil in our diets, but didn't use it. We were very staunch people. We did not believe in, my mother would often say, she said, I just don't like to keep NyQuil in the medicine cabinet. I say, why? She said, because it's Baptist preacher scotch. She did not believe in premarital relations between opposite sexes because it could lead to dancing. I'm glad to know we have Baptists here tonight. I originally thought that there were going to be more Presbyterians here in Columbiana, but I'm glad to see that I'm wrong. But I love Presbyterians. Oh, man, I really love them. Presbyterians are really just Southern Baptists who want to drink but can't afford to be Episcopalian. I love Episcopalians. Episcopalians are spiritual people. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, there's a 5th. But my mother always had the biggest, hardest time with the Methodists. The Methodists, they always got under her skin. She said, his name was not John the Sprinkler. He did not lead people out into the middle of the River Jordan only to douse their head with 1 tablespoon of water. Now, the reason I bring this up tonight is because if I can help save just one Methodist, we're going to sing this song for my mother, even though she's not here. She will be listening to this. She's kind of like a spy. She listens and watches everything I do. And I sing this for you, Mama. Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? He delivered Daniel from the lion's den, and Jonah from the belly of the whale, and the Hebrew children from the fiery furnace. And why not every man? Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? Where the wind blows east and the wind blows west, and it blows like the judgment day, and every poor soul that never did pray, he's gonna be praying again that day. Ooh, did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? And the ship began to sail, and it landed me over on Canaan's shore, and I'm never going back no more. Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? And why not every man? And why not every man? Bobby Horton, everybody. I went to a real small church, 27 people. We were tiny church, and we had an interesting way of picking the music. Every time that we picked the music, we had to be real careful how we did it, because there wasn't a whole lot of musical talent in our church. And we were all sick to death of every week Brother Hootie's wife getting up and singing "He Touched Me" and looking right at Brother Hootie. Just got weird. And so in order to choose the music, we would do a very special thing. We would walk in to the church, and in the vestibule, you would write your name down onto this little strip of paper. You tear it off, you put it into a fedora trilby hat, and that hat would be passed down the aisles all the way to the front row to Sister Dolores. Sister Dolores was the preacher's wife. She'd reach inside and she'd root around and she'd get the name out, and she'd look at it and she'd say, "Come on down." And you had to have one song memorized. It's kind of like a Heavenly Price is Right. Well, I had never been called upon. Never. Mostly because when I walked into church, I only wrote down my mother's name. But one Sunday, I got there. And as I was getting there, I walked down to that little pew where we sat. My cousin Ed Lee and I always sat, like my mother said, in our own pew. Brad got it. And we'd sit there, and he was laughing. I said, what are you laughing at? He said, man, you see that hat coming down the aisle? I said, yeah. He said, there's 27 names in that hat with your name on it. I said, do what? I said, who would do such a thing? He said, your mama. Well, sure enough, I walked into that church and sat down, and I was just vibrating. And I saw that hat go all the way to the front. And when it got to the front row, I saw Sister Dolores reach her hand in, and she rooted around, and she pulled out a name, and she said, no. Then she rooted in again, and she started rooting around. She put out another name, and she said, Sean Dietrich, come on down. And I walked on down that aisle. I was a chubby boy. It's important that you understand that for this story, because you have to see what I looked like. I was about yay high, yay wide. I had red curly hair like corkscrews. I had buckshot freckles, and I had 2 ears that looked like a Ford F-150 driving down the road with both doors open. I had buck teeth, prominent incisors, so that when I smiled, I looked a whole lot like Bugs Bunny. And so as I walked down the aisle smiling at everybody, I got to that front, and I looked at Sister Betty Lynn, who played the Mason and Hamlin piano. Sister Betty Lynn, that same piano, that Mason and Hamlin piano had been there ever since Sherman marched through. And I looked at Sister Betty Lynn. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And I looked over at Sister Lynn Betty. They both were wearing hearing aids with batteries that had not been changed since the Jimmy Carter administration. And I looked out at that audience, and I was sick to my stomach, scared. Miss Betty Lynn went, and I said, and folks, something grabbed a hold of me. Something deep inside your life comes at that moment that you need it the most. Call it the mystery of heaven, I don't know. But something grabbed a hold of me, and I sang. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? Right forward and a $2 bill. I know a spot right over the hill. There's sort of pop and dancing's free. So if you wanna have fun, come along with me. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Come on, Alan. I'd like to bring up here to the microphone Aaron Peters here. Aaron Peters, give him a hand. How old were you when you started playing fiddle, Aaron?
I was 11 years old.
11 years old. Tell me how you got that fiddle.
This one here, my first one.
Well,
Okay, so back in the early '90s, there was a theme park around the Opry. It was called Opryland, right? And we used to go every summer. And they had rides and shows and whatnot. So there was one show that we went to, and there was a show fiddler there, and he was playing the fiddle behind his back, and he had somebody hold his bow like this, and he would play the fiddle while he was holding his bow, right?
Can we try that?
Yeah. Please don't. And so anyway, we got back home, and I told my mother, I said, I might want to try to learn to play the fiddle. And that got around to my dad, who grew up in a house full of music, guitars and banjos and fiddles and all of this. And I think I had a fiddle in my hand within half an hour. He was more excited than I was.
First song you ever learned how to play?
That was Ball Them Cabbage Down.
Ball and Cabbage Down. Y'all know that?
Yep.
We do. Hey. Play it for us. Play it for your dad. I'd like it if you would welcome up to the microphone Glenn Tolbert's son. He's going to play a song for you that I'm not going to spoil it, but when we were practicing, Bobby said his face started to melt off.
Well, I was born down in the Southland. Some odd years ago. I ran away for the first time. I was only 4 years old and a freeboard man. My home was on my back. I know every inch of my way. Back on every by the railroad track. My man. Oh,
have a song we'd like to present to you that Brad that brought to the group. And, well, actually, he didn't bring the song to the group. He brought the jug to the group first. And we forgot that we were supposed to be playing music at all. Let me tell you, one of these guys can drink a whole lot of this stuff, but I won't. That person will remain nameless. He is wearing red shoes, but perhaps. Glenn, I want to call you Glenn. Can I see your pick? Yes, sir. Your pick?
Are you ready?
Ready.
Way down south in Memphis, Tennessee, jug band music sounds sweet to me. Sounds so sweet, and it's hard to beat. Jug band music certainly was a treat to me. I run home, turn on the radio. Jug band music make me stomp the floor. Sounds so sweet, and it's hard to beat. Jug band music certainly was a treat to me. Play that slide, Dwayne, come on. Socks, I took off my shoes. I jump all around to them jug band blues. Sounds so sweet, and it's hard to beat. Jug band music certainly was a treat to me. Was a treat to me. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Some oxygen in the house. Well, I went to my gal, I put my hand on her knee, said if you don't play the jug, you can't play with me. Sounds so sweet, and it's hard to beat. Jug band music certainly was a treat. Jug band music certainly was a treat. Jug band music certainly was a treat to me.
Back in 1840, a song was written. And the song was about a fellow that lived on the Tombigbee River. And the Tombigbee, think about it, it starts in Tennessee and it swings out into Mississippi, and then it gets smart and comes into Alabama. And it is a lovely, slow moving river. It's just so lovely. You get around Demopolis, that's where this fellow supposedly lived. It's the subject of the song. But this lazy river keeps on going below Demopolis to those chalky white cliffs it goes through, and it's beautiful. Then it catches the Alabama, slowly goes on down till it gets to the Mobile River, and then it slowly moves out into Mobile Bay, and eventually it gets to the Gulf of Mexico, but it's in no hurry to get there. Just like the lifestyle of the people that work hard on that river in the summertime in the 1840s, but at night they had something to look forward to. In this case, the fellas, what he looked forward to was Julia. By the way, you know what? Let me show you this. Let me show you the chorus real quick. Yeah, I'll sing with this. It's a singing song. And this is an Alabama song. It goes, join me when you feel it and know it. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. On Tombigbee River so bright I was born, in a hut made of husks in the tall yellow corn. And there I first met with my Julia so true, and she could be done with my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe. All the day in the field, the soft cotton I hoe, I'd think of my Julia and sing as I go. Oh, I catch her a bird with a wing of true blue, and at night sail her round in my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe. My hands on the banjo and toe of the oar, I sing to the sound of the river's soft roar, while the stars they look down at my Julia so true, and dance in her eye in my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe. One night that ship took us so far away that we could not come back, so we thought we'd just stay. Then we spied a tall ship with a flag of true blue, and it took us in tow in my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, oh, the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe. Singing, roll away, roll, and the water's so blue, like a feather will float in my gum-tree canoe.
Bobby Horton, everybody.
Sean Dietrich, everybody.
Well, I do a lot of traveling. Last year, my wife and I traveled to 42 different U.S. states. I see a lot of you looking. Thanks, Mom. I see a lot of you looking at me strange. Like, why would he travel to 42 different states? What does he have to say? Answer is, I don't know. But I meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of special people. Good people. And one such person I met at a feed-in seed in North Alabama. Craters of the Moon, North Alabama. And his name is Lord Brigadier Sir Zebediah Jones III. Would you please welcome Zebulon III out here? Hey, Zeb, how you doing?
Well, doing just fine. You got your cabbage planted yet?
My cabbage?
It's mid-spring.
No, I don't.
Well, how's your wife?
My wife, she's good. How's your wife?
She good. She been putting on weight.
Really?
She been eating them donuts like they need their boxes back. She did start working out, though.
Oh, really? What's she?
She says she been doing abs. Absolutely nothing. Sean, you don't know how I met my wife?
Yeah, how'd you meet your wife?
Well, first date, we went to midget wrestling. Yeah, I had a midget Elvis impersonator. He went by Elf-ish. Yeah, he was fighting against Micro Jackson. Sean, y'all like to watch a lot of TV. You watch TV?
Oh, man, I love TV. I
love that Andy Griffith.
Oh, man, that's my favorite, yes.
Yeah, Mayberry. Everybody's so happy all the time.
That's true.
I think it's because nobody on that show is married.
Is that?
Well, there was one fella that was married, and he was a town drunk. Yeah, we'd watch that Ginger and Mary Ann show.
Oh, you mean Gilligan's Island?
I don't remember no Gilligan on that show. Sean, you supposed to say who you like best, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Oh, that's right. Who do you like?
You trying to make me look dumb over here.
Who do you like best, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Yes. Yeah, boy, I tell you, you have that, remember that famous poster?
The famous poster. Which one?
It was in the 70s.
Oh, you talking about Farrah Fawcett?
Yeah, boy, fair.
In the red.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have that poster?
Well, I had one on every wall. I even had one in my truck. You know, but I did get a new truck.
You did? You needed a new car.
Yeah, I've got a new truck. I don't like it all that much.
Well, why's that?
Well, it's weird.
Well, what's wrong with it?
Well, it's got a button on there that says rear wiper. You talk about a mess. Hey, I ever tell you about my dad?
No, your dad.
He was a man of few words. He'd say, son, You know he was a congealed twin?
What?
Congealed twin, that's joined right there. That give me an uncle on my daddy's side. Yeah, and then they saved up money, you know, and got separated.
Oh, yeah.
Operation.
Yeah.
And give me an uncle once removed. Yeah, it's been a big day today.
Really? A big day.
Yeah, went up there and saw the Air and Space Museum.
Whoa, what was that like?
Well, there wasn't nothing there. We're getting warm in here now, boy. Yeah, and then on the way back, I ran by McDonald's and ate a kid's meal. His mom was mad, boy. I tell you. Yeah, and then my last stop was I had to go to the mall and finally took my wife's Christmas gift back.
Really? What'd you get her?
Well, got her a new prosthetic leg. It didn't fit. Her small group was calling her Eileen. I just took it back. Yeah, it wasn't her main gift, it was just a stocking stuffer. Yeah, and then I wound up at the zoo.
Oh, the zoo.
Yeah, boy, that was the highlight of my day.
Oh, yeah, I like the zoo.
I mean, I'd like to go see the snakes,
Oh, yeah.
reptiles.
Uh-huh.
I've been worried about them. No,
Well, why is that?
well, I've been hearing on the radio about reptile dysfunction.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zeb. I'd like to sing a song for the people in my family. We have one song that is code for I love you. And this one song means, whenever you hear it, that a parental figure is singing it to a child. It's never been sung the other way, as far as I know. It's always from the top down. And it means I love you. And we're going to try something here with just me and the fiddles. 1, 2, 3. 3 fiddles, solo. You might have to save me if they, Give me a G. Sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. As I was walking the other day, I dreamt you'd left me no more to stay. But if you leave me, I'll never survive. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt you left and went away. When I woke, dear, I was only dreaming. Thank God they won't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. How about these guys, huh? We're going to take a short intermission. Please feel free to go wander around and do whatever you need to do and be back in here in 15 minutes flat, sharp. Thank you very much for being here tonight. We've had a wonderful time. How about these guys one more time?
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean of the South.
Daniel Emmett wrote this, but well, the boatman dance, the boatman sing, the boatman up to everything. When that boatman get on shore, he spends his money and he won't do more than dance, you boatman dance. Oh, dance, you boatman dance. Oh, dance all night to the broad daylight. Go home with the girls in the morning. Hi-ho, the boatman roll, floating on the river and the Ohio. Hi-ho, the boatman roll.
Oh, the boatman is a thrifty man, never been what the boatman can. I can't never see in all my life, but that she was a pretty man's wife. Dance, you boatman, dance.
Oh, dance, you boatman, dance. Oh, dance all night with the broad daylight. Go home with the gals in the morning. Hi-ho, the boatman roll, floating down the river on the Ohio. Hi-ho, the boatman roll. Dance with your wife or don't dance at all. Start to deck to call and dance. Look out, my boys, for the nine-tailed cat. Then dance, you boatman, dance. Oh, dance, you boatman, dance. Oh, dance all night to the broad daylight. Go home with the gals in the morning. Hi-ho, the boatman roll, floating down the river on the Ohio. Hi-ho, the boatman roll, floating down the river on the Ohio.
And when that boatman blows his horn, when the boatman blows his horn, Look out, old man, your hog is gone. He'll steal your sheet and he'll catch your shoat. Then put him in the bag, tote him to the boat. Oh, let me read that again. I wish we got those words right. He'll steal my sheep and catch my shoat. Put him in the bag and tote him to the boat. Oh, dance, you boatman, dance. Oh, dance, you boatman, dance. Oh, dance all night till broad daylight. Go home with the gals in the morning. Hi-ho, the boatman row, floating down the river on the Ohio. Hi-ho, the boatman row. Bobby Horton, everybody. There were two forms of entertainment that I was allowed to partake in as a young Baptist. We don't believe in entertainment. We don't believe in a lot of things. But entertainment was really hard to come by because mostly it always happened under approved supervision. And when it came to the television, the only things we was allowed to watch on television were two things. We used to watch Billy Graham. Billy Graham would be on the television with that tall hair, and he'd say, God loves you, and even now the sinners are coming down the aisle to give their lives to Christ. And after he would finish his sermon, I would be sitting in my grandmother's single-wide trailer. We'd be watching a television screen that was about the size of the Lincoln Memorial. And I always sat between my granny and the television screen because in my family I was what was known as the remote control. And Billy Graham would be inviting the sinners to come down, and my granny would say, turn it up, because we knew what was going to happen. George Beverly Shea was coming out to that stage with that tall hair. It looked like you could park a Cessna underneath it. And he'd come out there and he'd sing, just as I am. Whoa, way too fast. This ain't no rock concert. And my granny, do you know, she would sing every single verse of that song with him without ever once dropping a cigarette out the corner of her mouth. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, what we was allowed to watch besides that was purely entertainment. It was pure gala. We loved this show. This show came on and everybody gathered around that Zenith console television, black and white, with the glass bulbous screen and that rotted faux wood imported from the Philippines. Oh, I loved this show. It was a glossy black stage with a blue velvet backdrop with little diamonds embedded in the curtains. And there were 24 band desks behind. And these band desks had woodwinds and brass winds and strings and a rhythm section, a bright bass. And they had a piano. And a man would walk onto the stage. He was tall and lean. His hair was slicked to his head with black kiwi shoe shine. He had in his hand clawhammer coattails and a long conductor's baton about 19 feet long. And he'd come up to that microphone and he'd say, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Lawrence Welker Show. And I thought he was the coolest man in the United States, which explains a lot of my female troubles growing up. Now, the show always followed the same format. Every single week, it followed the same format. The first thing that would happen was Sissy and Bobby would come out from the side stage. Sissy and Bobby were ex-Mouseketeers. Sissy and Bobby had grown up, and they would be coming out there dancing. And Bobby'd be spinning Sissy, and that dress of hers would be twirling up like this, and me and my cousin Ed Lee would get real close to the TV and go, and then after Sissy and Bobby would spin themselves right off the stage, another woman would come out. This was a woman who played stride piano. She was a beautiful woman. She was usually dressed in a bright, brilliant color like pink or yellow or white. And she wore non-Baptist approved dresses. I mean, these things were cut clear up above the ankle joint. She had her hair done up real big. It was bleached to almost platinum blonde. She had makeup applied on her skin with a masonry trowel. She had peacock eyelashes that seemed to move when she looked around. And she was so talented. God had been good to her. In fact, I don't remember God being that good to any young woman. As she would walk out onto that stage, me and my cousin would watch her. And we'd look at each other. She would kind of strut. She had a lower cut top on and these short dresses. A lot of skin was showing. And she would sit down before a Kimball piano. A Kimball upright piano. Stride piano is what she played. Stride piano is an interesting style of music. The left hand goes like this. Plays a syncopated bass rhythm. They play 13ths and 10ths, octaves. The right hand goes like this, in a totally different syncopated rhythm. It's a very jiggly form of music. Me and my cousin Ed Lee would watch the TV going. My granny would say, "You'd better be watching her hands." And then after that, a man would come out onto that stage. He was 5'7". He was a corn-fed Nebraskan. His hair was stuck to his head with industrial pump lubricant. His trousers were pressed so sharp they could cut tomatoes. He wore a brilliant white button-down shirt and a houndstooth blazer. And strapped to his chest was a 120-button Weltmeister accordion about the size of a Buick Skylark. And his name was Myron Florin. And he'd come out there and he'd play Tico Tico and Lady of Spain and Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, men have named you. You're so like the lady with that mystic smile. Is it only 'cause you're lonely they have framed you? Or that Mona Lisa sadness in your eyes? Do you smile to tempt the lover, Mona Lisa? Or is this your way to hide a broken heart? Are you warm, are you real, Mona Lisa? Or just a cold and lonely, lovely work of art? Are you warm, are you real, Mona Lisa? Or just a cold and lonely, lovely work of art? I wanted to be that man. I said, "Granddaddy, I want to learn how to play that instrument." He said, son, you know your granddaddy plays the accordion." I said, "Yes, I got to learn how to play that." He said, "Son, ain't no greater instrument than the accordion." I said, "I know it. I've got to know this instrument." He said, "Son, there is no better way to pick up chicks." Granddaddy lied. The accordion is not so much of an instrument in as much as it is a family curse. The only difference, my granddaddy used to say sometimes, between an onion and an accordion was that nobody cries when you cut up an accordion. Or as Bobby used to say, the definition of perfect pitch is the sound a banjo makes when it falls into a dumpster and lands on an accordion. Now, I asked Granddaddy if he would teach me to play. He said, "Yes, I will." He said, "But first you got to come with me to watch me play at a gig." I said, "I'd love to." Now, my granddaddy played in a Cajun band. And this Cajun band, it was a hot band, a trio. They had a guitar, an upright bass, and my granddaddy on the accordion. And he'd wear his ostrich skin boots and he'd bounce his left foot in time on 1 and 3. It was such a wonderful style of music. He said, "Shh, now son, if you come with me to the gig, there's a few things you got to know about your granddaddy." I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, you know, your granddaddy's Baptist." I said, "I know that. I am too." He said, "Well, we get very thirsty at these gigs." And for some reason, these people are so poor, they serve their water in mason jars. So you got to be real careful. Don't drink the water. I said, "I won't, and I won't tell Granny." He said, "That's what I'm getting at." He said, "Now what we got to do is we got to go across town to pick up my bass player, Taterlog." Taterlog was the upright player, and we always had to pick him up. He said, "Taterlog lives in a rough part of town. You got to be very careful when we go over there." Taterlog played the bass. His son played the guitar, Tater Tot. He said, "Be careful, because, you know, Granddaddy's instruments in the back. We got to be real careful. Lock the doors. You know, it's a rough part of town." So we drove over across that part of town. We got out the car, locked his Buick doors. We walked up 3 flights of stairs to Tater Log's apartment. We helped carry that doghouse bass down the steps. And sure enough, when we got out to the parking lot, my granddaddy's front and back windshields were both smashed in. And in the back seat were 3 more accordions. But I watched him play and I thought it was wonderful, and he gave me lessons. I had a 12-button bass accordion, really small, about the size of a bread box. And I would practice for him. And when I met my wife, we went to a very, very nice restaurant, an Italian restaurant called Giuseppe's. And we went to this little place, and I had something planned with the maitre d'. And midway through, I left our table to use the bathroom. And when I came out, I was playing La Vie en Rose on the accordion. And I came to her, playing this instrument, looking longingly into her eyes. She watched me. She said, "If you ever play that again, I would divorce you." They're going to hate me when this is over. Well, I don't do it as good as he can do it. Goodbye, Joe. Me got to go. Me a mile. Me got to go. Port a Piro down the bay. Me Vaughn, sweetest one. Me a mile. Son of a gun, we had big fun on the bay. Said jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle meal. The big guitar, big fruit jar, and big ale. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bay. Thibodeau, Fontainebleau, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Yvonne by the dozen. Dressing style, go hard wild, me a mile. Sort of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bay. The jambalaya and a crawfish pie and a filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle's real. Big guitar, big fruit jar, and big ale. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Said son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. I want you to know what you have in the house tonight for anybody who doesn't know. This man right here. Whew, that's a very physical kind of music. This man right here is obviously an incredible musician, which that needs no explanation. But he's also a wonderful human being, and he's been so good to me. He has kind of welcomed me into his home. And I hang out there more often than I do at my own house, it seems like. We play music together, we talk. Before we know it, 6 hours have passed, and his wife is reminding me that I have dogs and that a wife, and you know. But I don't have a father, and I haven't had a father since I was 11 years old. And Bobby, you fill that void very nicely.
You're moving me, man. Thank you, Sean.
And
Well, I'm proud of you, son. I'll tell you that, and that's a fact.
Bobby, his sort of welcome me into this house that is loaded with instruments. Now, he plays everything under the sun. He has like the Julian pipes and the bagpipes and all these different things. It's like kudzu, like self-produces. And now the kudzu is getting over to my house because he always gives me something new to take home and play with. He's given me a lot of confidence in myself. But the reason I'm telling you about Bobby is because Bobby, for those of you who don't know, produced most of the music for, is it 19 Ken Burns films?
Yeah, not most of it, but yeah.
And what you're hearing when you watch National Parks or Horatio's Drive or the Civil War, you're hearing Bobby's expertise come through, not just about music, but how old-time music was played. He travels all around doing music history, and I was lucky enough to go with him on some of these things, and I just love to hear him talk to a room of people. The people who are interested in historical music are very boring people. And Bobby makes it so much fun for them. That's a real talent. This song that we're going to play for you now is the song that was the theme song for Lewis and Clark. And Lewis and Clark, you were looking around. Tell us how you found this song.
You know, you have in a film, you have characters have a song for each character if they're important enough, and then you have for when they get in trouble, whoever, and then you have a theme for that, whatever. And everything with Lewis and Clark had been done. Peter Ostrisco wrote a tune that was accepted as Meriwether Lewis's tune, and I wrote one for Clark that they liked, and we had one for Sacagawea, et cetera, et cetera. Well, he didn't have one for the overall theme of the journey of the Corps of Discovery. And a dear friend of mine, G. William Bugg, had a recital, and I played with him on this recital at Sanford. And one of the songs we did was Beach Spring. And I'd been hearing that my whole life. Now, Beach Spring is a song that was actually written by B.F. Smith in 1835 that went into the Book of Southern Harmony, which is a hugely important book for a lot of, I guess, geeks that like that sort of thing. Yeah. But no, it had a great influence on this country. He took a text of a man named Joseph Hart, who was a preacher in England, 1759. He wrote this to a dorky tune, and B.F. White put it with this melody, and it's called Beach Spring, and it's 1835 is when this magic happened. This is a lovely, lovely tune. This is an octave mandolin, and this is the one that gave me the idea to use it in the film.
The film, yeah.
This actual thing here is called an octave mandolin, as I said.
I have been listening to you, even though I didn't know I was listening to you for a long time. You know that? I've heard that before we even met.
Oh, really?
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, well.
It might not be interesting, but it's true.
You know, Sean and I sit around hours and just bore one another to pieces. But this is Beach Spring. Or Come Ye Sinners, Poor and Needy is the actual text name. For all you geeks out there.
Come, you sinners, poor and needy, weak and wounded, sick and sore. Jesus ready stands to save you, full of pity, love, and power. He is able, He is able, He is willing, doubt no more. He is able, He is able, He is willing, doubt no more. Let not conscience make you linger, nor a fitness fondly dream. All the fitness he requireth is to feel your need in him. This he gives you, this he gives you, 'tis the Spirit's rising beam. This he gives you, this he gives you, 'tis the Spirit's rising beam. Agonizing in the garden, lo, your master prostrate lies. On the bloody tree, behold him, hear him cry before he dies. It is finished, it is finished, sinners will this not suffice. It is finished, it is finished, sinners will this not suffice. Though the uncarned God ascended, pleads the merit of his blood. Venture on him, venture wholly, let no other trust intrude. None but Jesus, none but Jesus can do help the sinners good. None but Jesus, none but Jesus can do help the sinners good.
I'll be working everybody. Welcome to the stage, Dwayne 2, who's going to play a little Deep River Blues.
This song was written by the Delmore brothers. If any of you ain't never heard of that, that was a brother duet from North Alabama. And I love this song. Doc Watson's the one I think that really made it famous. And so I want to try to do an approximation of that version of it.
Let it rain.
22, everybody. I've known this guy for a long time. We played in the church together, which people reacted strangely to us both because we're not church. We don't belong. It was, but I liked him.
Yeah,
Now,
I liked you too.
We had an 85-year-old guitar player.
That's right.
Who played Texas swing music, and he just wanted to give his gifts to the Lord. And God bless him.
He was kind of a one-trick pony, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Every song that he played sounded like Bye Bye Blues. And it's like, no, this is Rock of Ages. But and Matt was in the band, and we had a real ragtag group of people. But down in that part in Walton County, it's just that way. And I instantly fell in love with him. He's a wonderful, wonderful friend and a wonderful fiddle player. And I really would like to showcase him playing the oldest known fiddle tune.
Yeah, I think it takes its roots back to Ireland, but unless I'm just going to say something if I can. There's a lot going on in the world today, and you hear a lot of music that's on the radio, and there's a lot of just inappropriate stuff about fornicating and illicit substances. Can I get an amen from y'all? Right? There's a lot of stuff on the radio. This song has lyrics that were written in a simpler time, the 1800s, and it's about opium.
This is why we didn't make it in church.
This is a tune called Soldier's Joy.
Sitting on a sweet potato vine, say grasshopper sitting on a sweet potato vine. Wish that little gal was mine. Say 15 cents for morphine, 25 cents for beer. Say 15 cents for morphine to get me away from here. Big fine horse and corn to feed him on, and a little girl to sit at home and feed him while I'm gone. Darling boy, I am my mama's darling boy. I am my mama's darling boy. Talk about soldier's joy. Bring my other fiddle friend over here, Aaron Peters. Come on up here. He has no idea what we're going to do, and that's why I love him.
Those lights are shining right in his face. This is a good guy. I love this man. I really do. He has been there for me during some rough times, and we are tight people. He came with me on perhaps one of the most special moments of my entire life, and so did Dwayne, and so did Todd, to perform on the Grand Ole Opry. And this man was right there beside me. And I'd like you to play for them what we played for them. A little lost in you. Lost in you. Just lost. Peters, everybody. Well, there's a little bit more I want to do before we send you out into the world. And one of those things is I want to tell you a little bit about a person who I grew up with. Now, this person shares my genetics because we were both born from the same mother. We were both born, ironically, we were both born naked at a very young age. Now, she was born modest, but it wore off. And I was born with large feet. The doctor said they had never seen a larger phalanx on it's PH. It's not the phallic you're thinking. That's not how this is supposed to go. The phalanx is your big toe. And I had the largest phalanx in that hospital. This is true. And the doctors got the nurses out, and they took pictures of my big toe with a Brownie Kodak camera. My mother tells this story a lot better than I do, and they sent these pictures off to a sizing, like a record agency. And it turned out that year I had been beat by a kid born in South America. But anyway, everything else finally caught up. My toes they're almost normal. But my sister and I, we had a rough life. We did not have a great life. And my daddy ended his life when I was 11 years old, and everything changed for us. Our whole life changed. We lost our breadwinner. And when you lose your breadwinner, especially a long time ago, before things were the way they are now, it changes the way that you see the world. It changes your expectations. I was sort of expected to go back to work as a child. And so I was 14 when I got my first drywall job. And I dropped out of school when I was in 7th grade. And I can remember my English teacher saying, "Please don't do it. Please don't quit coming to school." And I said, "I have to. I want to. I'm tired of this. I don't want to be here anymore. And I quit going to school. And my sister really never went at all. And that's the kind of people we came from. We came from a different style of people. Some people might call it white trash. I like to call it multicolored trash. Because this is the year of being PC. But my sister had it really hard because she didn't even learn how to read until she was in her 20s. But she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. Mother of 2. And we used to pass our time, the hard days, singing. Because music's very important in my family. It always has been. And my sister had a wonderful voice, but no confidence. She wasn't anything like her brother. Her brother had a mediocre voice, but way too much confidence. And we would sing songs that we knew from the hymnal and pass the time that way. And I'm so lucky to have had that relationship throughout my life. I was the one who taught her to drive. I was the one who taught her how to cook bacon. I was the one who taught her how to do laundry. She was afraid to sleep by herself because fear was a major emotion in our lives. And she was afraid to sleep by herself for many years. And so I slept at the foot of her bed until I was 18 years old. I slept on the floor until I was 18 because I love her. And she's here tonight. I'd like her to sing a song for you. So come on out here, sir. What are you going to sing for us?
Well, let's sing Leaning on the Everlasting Arms.
Well, hey.
Let me just wipe my tears away real quick. I'm not sure what we're playing now.
All right.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms.
One more, one more. Sarah, Sarah. What you say? What you got for us?
Let's just do what we practice. You know, what a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus.